beat man is back.
Oh, okay, Jay, boys, try it again. Oh my gosh, the red got messed up. This is a 5 out of freaking 5.
It is beat making time.
Next week is E3 week. My album comes out next week.
I have delivered. You know what I'm saying? It's true. You know what I'm saying? But look at that, my God.
This is your boy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube citizens, y'all know who this is. This is your boy Dash the True Inferno. Now, y'all probably expecting a ProAM game, but no, not today. This is a special ProAM edition here because me and my boys, the MobSquad, we was gaming last night, and there's a lot of things wrong with NBA 2K17. In fact, NBA 2K17 is the worst sports game of the year. Yes, you heard me right. So what I'm going to do is compare this year's game to the wish list I made for this year's game in comparison to last year's game. So let's get straight into it by talking about my last wish list videos. By starting with the animations. The animations are way over the damn top, dog. It is out of control. They need to tone that joint down. And did they do that? No. The animations, in my opinion, are much, much worse this year than last year. Let's continue on. Another thing is, you hold the right analog stick straight up, which is what you're supposed to do, really. Like, if your guy have you deep in the paint, you gotta make your guy throw your hands straight up in the air. But instead, he'll follow. And, you know, so these foul animations, they are out of control. They need to be dealt with. And they haven't been dealt with. In fact, it's much, much worse. Because even though your hands are straight up in the air and not raving like they just don't care, the game will still make you jump as if you're trying to block them. And to make matters worse, like, I'll get more on the fouls in a second, so that's how it's worse. So yeah, they did not fix it, they made it worse. So yeah, let's continue on. The team defense is horrible. The help defense is horrible. I mean, yeah, if my guy gets beat, then the closest guy to the hole should step up. Yeah, I don't need the guy who is going in the three-point shooter come into the paint. No, that's dumb as heck. Like, no. And then you got like 2 or 3 people trying to guard this one guy, and he got all these shooters wide open. The help defense is terrible. Yeah, it really is. Now, I'm not going to get all into it because Chris Smooth actually made a very good video about the help defense in 2K17. So yeah, go ahead and watch that after this video, of course. And let me get back on the fouls. The blocking fouls, that need to go to when all you're doing is just holding out L2, playing that good defense. That's terrible. That need to go. Now, if it's one thing, if you're running up on them, like sprinting towards them and while holding L2, something like that, that's one thing. But just to stand there and hold L2 and then you get called for the blocking foul, that's dumb as heck. Yeah, they really made it worse in this one, man, because the blocking foul is way more common in this one. And going back to the hands up defense in the paint, like when your guy jumps up and your hands straight up, they'll call you for the foul on you even before you even touch them. So yeah, they need to fix that. If the ball is tipped, well, I gotta hesitate and react to what I just saw. The CPU immediately reacts and get the ball and just go to the ball very quick. Like they got an automatic speed burst, and they did not fix that at all. And I have to say it's much worse than ProAM with the CPUs. But yeah, they did not fix that at all. It's about the same really as last year's game. And speaking of which, ProAM players making these really impossible shots, they need to fix that as well, dog. You know, with 2 or 3 guys on these guys, and yet they're making them. You know, that's make no sense right there. And it's slightly worse in this year's game because, especially with the sharpshooters, and now granted they did tone it down with the latest patch, but there should be no way that guys with overalls in the 50s, 60s, 70s should outperform guys in overalls with the 80s and 90s. Now, granted, they could have their shooter, you know, capped out to the max, but still, though, man, it makes no sense how these guys are outperforming the higher ups. Also, offensive fouls, he need to work on that because as you just saw, Blake Griffin set a pick, right? He didn't move his feet. He didn't do none of that. That was fine. But when you send a pick, though, you can't be moving. A good pick is when you set it and you don't move, man. Because they'll set a pick and then they'll move, try and block it. That's to be offensive foul. And it is much worse than this year's game. There's this moving screen cheese where the guy is running towards the defender and he pushing him back like 10, 20 feet away from the guy with the ball. And this dude is now wide open. And yeah, that happens plenty of time, you know, in favor of the player and then against the player as well. And then they got rid of the offensive fouls completely. I can set any type of screen I want. I could be standing still. I could be moving. Obviously, if I'm standing still, that's not an offensive foul. But I could be moving and setting a proper screen. Although you can't really call it a proper screen, but still though, it's not called an offensive foul. So you could be moving towards the defender, and while you're moving, you push him back, or you can set any type of screen you want. There is no such thing as offensive fouls in this game when it involves the screener or the wannabe screener. They need to fix that severely, because it's much worse in this year's game than last year's game, and that's a freaking shame. The passes are a joke to some degree, because they make you do these fancy passes when you don't want to, and they make you do these jackpot 500 loft passes when you try to pass the ball. They make you go let's go way up in the air where anybody and their mama could tip it or try to catch it. And yeah, they did not fix that at all. And I have to say it's slightly worse in this one than last year, because there's more of them in this year's game than last year's game. So yeah, they need to fix that like right now. And speaking of passes, let's say I'm at the corner of the 3-point line and I want to pass to my teammate who is at the top of the 3-point line. But instead, the ball goes near the half-court line, forcing my teammate to go to the half-court line to catch it, and we are in risk of a backcourt violation. No, they need to fix that. And it is much worse. It's much, much worse, because now you can throw the ball to your teammate, but they're going to make you throw the ball towards the out of bound line where your teammate catch it. Because of the momentum, he will step out of bounds. It is much worse this year than last year's game, and they definitely need to fix that like now as well. And guards should not be losing the balls constantly, but yet big men with crossover moves like Iverson or Jamal Crawford, and they don't lose the ball. That is ass backwards. They need to fix that too, man. The big men should be in risk of losing the ball when they dribble, while the guards, who have the more better handling, should not be losing the ball constantly. They need to fix that. And yeah, I won't say it's worse this year than last year's, but while they kind of made some changes to that, but they also made some bad changes to that as well. So for example, cause now like there's the more chances of you stumbling with the basketball, and despite the fact you could be a center stumbling with the basketball, or somebody who is like 6'10", 6'11", 7 feet or whatever, and you're stumbling with the basketball in the paint, surrounded by 3 to 4 dudes, you still do not lose the freaking ball. And I'm like, what is that? No, they need to change that. Now, granted, yeah, the centers cannot dribble in this game, as far as what I can see anyway. So yeah, that's good. But the fact that you're in the paint, I don't care who you are. If you're in the paint, you're stumbling with the ball, and you're surrounded by dudes, like defenders, like 3, 4 defenders, you should lose the ball. Like, and they're all reaching in, you should lose the ball. You should not be stumbling and still somehow getting control of the basketball. You should lose the freaking basketball. So yeah, they need to fix that as well. And in ProAM, you should be able to pick who takes the ball out, because in certain cases, it's the shooting guard. Like, they'll force the shooting guard to take the ball out. But late in the quarter, like after 2 minutes or whatever, they make the power forward do it. And I'm like, no, we want to pick who we want to take the ball out. Set up a play and things of that nature. They need to fix that as well. And they made this more open as far as who could take the ball out. Obviously, the point guard cannot take the ball out, but anybody else could. You know, the shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center. Anybody else could at random times, even in late game scenarios. But the problem remains, you still cannot pick who to take, who you want to take the ball out. Late game scenario when we want to play, where we could be trying to set a screen. So we want to make the guys who is the coldest on the court, who is not a big man of any kind, take the ball out. So in our case, that could be the shooting guard. So yeah, we want him to, or in other cases, it could be the point guard. So we want one of those two guys to take the ball out. And the guy with the hot hand, or the guys with the hot hand, we want them to move around wherever. So yeah, we should be able to pick who we want to take the ball out, man. And they still did not put that in this game. But as far as who take the ball out, it's slightly better, but it could be much, much better. these CPU players, how they're created, like it's retarded. Like for example, let's say there's 4 of you playing, you don't have a power forward or a center. So what would they do? They would make a player for you, but the problem is he's small as heck. And I'm like, why? No. Like if we need a center, that must should be 6'10" at least. You know, around 6'10" to 7 feet tall, something like that. If it's a power forward, it should be around 6'9", 6'10". Like they'll give us a 6'6" power forward, something like that. I'm like, what is that? Like, no, he's too freaking short. They need to fix that. And did they fix that? No. They still giving us that 6'6", 6'7", 6'8" power forward. And it's like, no. These undersized big men at the CPU spots. And it's like, no. And let me tell you something about a game that we played last night. We played a game last night against guards and a small forward. And they had 2 AI players at the power forward and the center position. Both of them are obviously overall 55. But yet, at times, they would grab rebounds and stuff like that. We'd be like, what the heck? And we had a 4-5. And it was just a crazy fiasco right there. How you gonna make a guy overall 55, but yeah, he grabbing all these ain't short as heck, but yeah, he's grabbing all these rebounds. But yeah, when we get a AI player, we don't get an AI player who is that beast-like. No, we never get that. And I get more on that later, man. So yeah, let's continue on with the video. Another thing they need to get rid of is these animations where you go for the ball, where they make you go for the ball when you don't want to. They may make you go towards the defense or whoever got the ball when you don't want to. So for example, let's say the shot goes up. You want to take off running to start a fast break opportunity. But instead, the game makes you jump for the rebound and you don't get it. And I'm like, what? No. Or when you see the ball going out of bounds and you don't want to go anywhere near it because it'll be your ball, but yet the game makes you dive for it. Again, no. Cut that crap out. Get that joint out the game. That makes no sense. The game make you do whatever and you don't even want to do it. I'm like, no, get that joint out the game. Get the animation out the game. Get those animations out the game. And did they get them out the game? Not only did they not get them out the game, they made it worse because another example last night is somebody put up mid-range, right? And this ain't my guy, but I was like the closest one to him, but he had like a good amount of distance between himself and me. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to contest that. I'm just going to hope that he missed and I can go for the rebound. But the game had other ideas for my character. So after the game, after this dude shoot the ball and the ball is clearly over my head, they're going to make me contest. So instead of me possibly jumping up to try and block this shot, like straight up, because I'm 7'1", and, you know, my wingspan ain't all that because I sacrificed that for power. But if I would have jumped straight up and had my hand straight up, I could probably tip it onto the shot or something. But no, instead of that, or instead of me not moving at all and try to go for the rebound, they made me jump towards the shooter with a hand in his face, late as heck. I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want to have full control over my guy and go for the rebound. And yeah, they did not fix that at all. They need to take those animations out where they basically force your character to do whatever. Like contest a shot, go for a rebound when you don't want to, dive for the loose ball when you don't want to. You know, they need to get rid of that garbage, man, like now. Which leads me to celebrations. Celebrations are dumb as heck because the opposition could be they could be taking the ball out quick as heck and you still stuck celebrating or whatever. I'm like, or if you like got a bucket and you felt like you should be fouled, you're gonna be sitting there wondering where to foul it. I'm like, no, get up, stop celebrating and get back on D. Because they pressing the ball up. Like, what are you doing? They need to get rid of that. And it's much worse in this year's game. And here's why. Now, granted, if you play my career, you have the option to celebrate if you want to. But that option is not there in ProAM. In ProAM, they will automatically make you celebrate. And here's why I say it's worse. Dude, my teammate make a free throw, and I'm celebrating like we just won a game. What the heck are you doing? No. Give us that option in ProAM. It should not only be in my career. It should be in ProAM as well. I do not want to celebrate while the other team is taking the ball out fast as heck. And they went by me with the rock because I'm too busy celebrating instead of going back in the paint. They need to get rid of that crap completely. The cap level. Now, Smooth already talked about this already, so I ain't gonna spend much time on this. But the cap levels are stupid, and the fact that the group, these attributes. That's dumb as heck. They need to get rid of that, all of that, and they need to fix the caption. And I'm gonna get more on that later. I will get more on that later. More steals and less tips. And what I mean by tips is, like, when you go for the steal, you'll tip the ball, and yet the opposition will still recover the ball. When in that case, in some of those cases rather, it should have been still. Now granted, there's some cases where you tip the ball and it makes sense, but in most cases, like the ball in front of you, you shouldn't be tipping the ball. You should be grabbing the ball, aka getting the steal. So they need to fix that. And they made it much worse because this year, if you're in a bad predicament, you could stumble with the basketball and you could be reaching in as a defender, but yet they still recover the ball. Or you could go for the steal and things of that nature, and you tipped it or whatever, but they still recover the ball. And it's like, no, like that make no sense. Some of those recoveries by the offensive player are unrealistic. When you tip the ball and it's near you, you should be able to grab it. You shouldn't be wondering, oh, which way did he go? Which way did he go? No! You should be able to grab the ball immediately instead of this BS right here. So yeah, they need to fix that as well. Now, I already made a parody song about this, but I'm gonna mention it on here. Please don't bring back Spike Lee. 2K don't need Spike Lee. Please stay away from Spike Lee. Don't negotiate with Spike Lee. Don't get in contact with Spike Lee. That storyline was dumb. I didn't like it at all. Dumb. That's stupid. They need to get rid of that storyline. That storyline makes no sense. We do not need a storyline in a basketball game. Well, good news is they got rid of Spike Lee. Bad news is there's still a storyline in 2K17. Now, granted, this particular storyline I do not mind because even though your character could be black or white, we don't know who your parents are or how they look, so that's cool. Now, the problem with the storyline is there's two things wrong with it, and this is like one of them is minor, the other major. Now, remember in last year's game, you had the option to skip the cutscenes and skip the storyline or whatever. You can't do that this year. I don't know why, but they won't let you skip the cutscenes, even though some of those cutscenes are completely useless. So yeah, they need to give us the option again to skip the cutscenes. And the second thing is, you'll get these phone calls from your mom saying, hey, how you doing? You should wear a sweater when you're going to roll in the wintertime and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, no offense to the moms of the world, but I do not want to watch a cutscene of my character listening to the answer machine and it's his mama talking to him about useless crap. No, cut that crap out the game. Give us the option to get through the cutscenes instead of watching them, man, because we trying to play the game. We ain't trying to watch a wannabe story, man. So yeah, get rid of that and bring back the option to skip cutscenes. And the game can't count. So for example, let's say the opposition taking the ball out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it keeps, and then they'll blow the whistle or the opposition calls time out whatever. So basically what I'm saying is this: they don't know how to count the 3 seconds in the paint thing. They'll say, oh, that's 5 seconds. They don't know how to count the whole you got 5 seconds to take the ball out thing. They'll count that as 8 seconds. And then as far as you got 8 seconds to bring the ball up the court, they'll count that as like 10 or 11 seconds. So yeah, 2K, they need to fix that counting system right there. That makes no sense. Now, I have not seen a lot of examples of this in this year's game, but based on what I have seen, they haven't fixed it. And they need to fix it like immediately. Now, this is more my career. Right here, it's how these coaches use these timeouts. They'll call these timeouts as the most stupidest of time. There was a video as I did a while back where I accidentally called a timeout when I thought when I was about to get fouled, and then my coach used another one right, not like, oh, we got back from the timeout and then we went to play. And then he just like soon as we got done with that first timeout, before we even set up on the court to want to play, he called another one. Like no, they need to do something with these coaches calling timeout. Now in this case, it's slightly better. But here's the problem with my career. Like, they put you in the game, right? First of all, they put you in the game for the first time on defense. And then the opposition scores, and they immediately call timeout. And I'm like, I just got in the game. Why are we calling a timeout? And they do this every freaking game. And I'm like, no, get rid of it. I just got in the game. I don't know how I was able to get in the game. It could have been a turnover, it could have been a foul, or somebody could have called a timeout. We do not need to call a timeout as soon as I get in the game. As soon as I get in the game, I should be playing. I shouldn't have to, okay, I got subbed in. I was on defense as usual to start off a game. If I was coming off the bench, that is. And then the opposition scores, and then we'd call a timeout. No. Now, one fix to that is, don't let the opposition score. Well, that's true. Oh, and another fix to this is, you should be starting. Well, that's true too, but at the same time, no, because again, I'm just getting in for the first time, and one, we on defense, and that's old as heck now, and two, we shouldn't be calling a timeout because we could have took a timeout just to bring me in the game, and now you want to waste another one? So yeah, that's dumb as heck, man. Moving on with the video. And last, but this one's certainly not major, but I feel like 2K is targeting the MobSquad. Okay, this just went from minor to major because last night when me and the MobSquad were playing this, and what I mean by last night, I'm talking about like September 30th, the last day of September. I felt like 2K really had it for us. And this been going on since 2K16. And it's carried over to 2K17. Now, if you were to see our record, I think our record is like 100 something and 11 or 12, something like that. And y'all probably wondering, we're Elite 2, by the way. Y'all probably wondering, what y'all complaining about? But no, like, it feels like just about every game, 2K is purposely out to get us, the MobSquad. So, yeah, there you go with that. Now, let me get on with this, format regarding how to create your player character. And a lot of people complain about it, so I'm gonna get into it as well. And it's dumb. At first I was like, okay, well, we get to pick a play type. Okay, that's new. Okay. But after thinking about it, it really do make you feel like a role player. You can't be a superstar in this game. They do not want you to be a superstar, right? Because they're all up on that esports fiasco. And Chris Moore again made a video on this, so he already explained it better than I could. So yeah, I recommend you go and watch his video. And I will say at the end of this video, but this is the end of this video. So yeah, man, y'all know who this is. This is the new Jay Gatsby, aka the new Stephen A. Smith, saying peace out, y'all. You will get an actual ProAM game next week, and I'll see y'all next time. Yeah. Look at that, man. An easy dunk for the squad because my ability to throw the deep ball. All right, here we go. Time for me to get some action again. Lost the ball, but I able to recover and put it in. All right, here we go. He tried to shoot. Nope, not happening. Fast break time. Wait a minute. Look at this. That's what I'm talking about. The dominant one strikes again. You cannot stop me when I'm in the paint, dog.